So welcome to this new week. And we were in our last week when we left, we were working something like this. This was the document that we were talking about. And in the end, we talked about that we can create some functions and we can attach those functions with any of the DOM elements that we have. So we have got this cat DOM element. Where this cat has come from? This cat is coming from this document.querySelector hash cat. And what is this hash cat? The ID cat. And you know, this ID cat is of this image, the picture that is appearing on our page. So I don't know why people are not responding other than one or two people. Are you people with me that we had this document last time? We had this class, this cat picture, and that's everything in this document. Yes, thank you very much. Now people have started to come in. So yes, now this was something. And you remember what was this page doing? I'm just reviewing that. And you remember that we talked about that there are certain actions that has been happening. When I click on the cat image, it clicks on it and it produces the mouse event. And when I click on the body, it says body clicked. So you remember we have talked about that there's something called event we have. And this event is usually we pass that event. And by using that event, we can just either find out what had been clicked. Like, you know, in the case of body, I am accessing e.target. In case of that picture, I am just accessing e. I can do that e.target over here as well. You remember, and I can save that. And then if I run it, you see that if I click on the picture, it is also giving only the target where I have clicked on. Right? So after so many yeses, I just want you people to be following me that now this is working in a way that when I click on the cat image, it's giving me the target of that. So it's up to you, whatever you want to just show it over here. Now, what we are doing, what we are adding towards to this exercise today. Let me just show you. I have a completed exercise. I'll just show you. This is something that we want to do here. Now, please listen. This is today's task. First of all, we'll be just adding something like that. We have picture, and when we click on that picture, the picture should change. Right? I am clicking on it, and the picture is getting changed. First of all, we have to do that. Number two, if you see that we have got something called a mouse information. I'll talk about that mouse information. You know, wherever I am taking my mouse to, it is showing my mouse position. You remember we talked about mouse position, that this will be coming from the event. But right now, what we are doing is that we have got this mouse position over here. So now, if you see that now this mouse position, we have to do that. We have to do that whenever I click on this picture should be changed. And you see some URLs over here. This is very interesting. Let me just refresh that. You will see, first of all, something like this. The cat picture will have some more cats button over inside that. And what I do is that I will just place a button over here. When I click on this my cats button, more cats button, this cat's pictures will, the URLs will appear. And this URL will be, just hold on a minute. I am having a call. I don't know why it's. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I forgot to just unmute myself. Yes. So I'm saying that I will be capturing the mouse position here. Now you can hear me. Okay. So capturing the mouse information over here. And after capturing the mouse, you see the mouse information. If I take my mouse here, it says 1782. X-axis 17 and Y-axis 82. If I take my mouse somewhere like that, so it's only accessing the X-axis has been increasing. Up to so on. If I go, so this is the mouse capturing. We'll do that as well, and as well as I said, if I start it, we'll have this document that will have this picture, which is already there, something like this. And what we'll do is that when we'll create in more cats, it will bring up some URLs. Now, where this URL coming from? Let me tell you, these URLs will be coming from this script.js. And let me just copy and paste this URL. What I've done is that I have just randomly taken some URL from unsplash.com. and I pasted them over here in a cats array. Not at all. You did not miss anything important. We are just right now we are into a very new thing, right? So what I'm doing is that in script.js, yes. So in script.js, we have just created a script called cats, and these are the URLs. So you can just copy this one, and where I'll copy that one. You remember we have shared a document. I will go to that document, and I will paste this, script.js components over here. You can copy and paste this just for the testing purpose right now. These are all the URLs of the picture and stored in the cats, right? So you can access that. So these pictures which I was showing you, so these URLs are coming from our script.js. And how interesting this is. You see, our document will look like this. When I click on more cats, it will just load all the URLs from that. So let me just show you. If I just remove, for example, or cut down few URLs from here. If I just cut down, for example, this much URL, I'm just cutting till comma, and I want to just show you that how it is just loading them. So if I just refresh it and I click on it, it's still showing the 17 one. I have not saved that document either. You save that. It is saved. It is saved. Let me just see that. Oh, still showing 17. Okay. Oh, okay. So it's doing the right. Oh, it's doing the right thing because I'm not running this document, right? So again, when we will change that, I'm not running this document. I'm just showing you this document which we have to do. So it's not that the same document, like its script is not being changed. It's somewhere else, and I have to just change that. But anyhow, so look at it. So this URL will be coming from where? As I said, this will be coming from this file, right? This file will be just providing us that. So now, as I said, that will be just doing what? We'll have this mouse information capture. When we click on the cat picture will keep on changing. And then when I just click on this, you see here, when I click on this picture, this cat will keep on changing. All those pictures will be coming from that. And these were also coming from where? From our script file. And then we have got this button. If we click on this button, all those URLs will be loaded over here. And whatever URL I click on, this picture will be open in a new window. So we have to do that, right? Okay, so now this was the document that we have to implement, right? So I will be implementing it over here in our this document, which is what? Which is our this document, which was, let me show you where we are right now. We are right now at this position. Picture is not changing, rather it has just cat image click. And I have just let you know that these are the things that you want to do if you want to just change those pictures. So now how to capture those URLs and change these pictures at the runtime. Now I will stop here. Is everyone with me with all these things, and they have copied the script as well with them? I need a good. That's very good. I need a response because we will be just based on this one. So I want all of you to have this. So you all have got these images data as well here. So this is the data. This is the array. This is the raw array that we have, and we will be just using this array to populate our program. That's very good. Now let's talk about this index.html and how we will do that. So now you remember we have talked about this handle click event, and we have worked in this handle click event as well. Now I want to work on that handle click as well. And what I'm doing is that after this on click event, I'll be just changing few things. So I'm just saying that current cat index, I'm finding out current cat index equal to 0. So we are talking about the first index, all these will be stored in an array format. This will be 0 index, 1, 2, 3, up to whatever value that it has. So I'm saying current cat index should be equal to 0, right? And I want to make a function. What this function will do? This function, and its name will be suggesting, it may be next cat URL, like cat image URL. I'm writing a function that will go and grab the next image URL. I hope you are understanding from this one, right? So now, next cat image URL. I'm just trying to create that function that will do that. Now, first of all, do what? Current cat index plus plus. Whenever you are accessing that, you just move to the next one, right? So the next cat index. First of all, this current cat index is 0, and whenever someone asks for cat image URL, you go to the next one, right? And not only go to the next one, but rather check also that if it is not the last one. And how we can check that? Current cat index equal cats dot length. Where is this cats coming from? Anyone? What is this cats? Where this is coming from? This cats array of URL. That's very right. Length minus 1, you know, the array. I'm talking about this cats now, right? Everyone, please be clear. We're talking about this array. So cats dot length minus 1. So if it has reached to minus 1, you know, it does mean what? It means that now you have reached to the last record. And if you have done that, so you should make it again to 0, right? So whatever number of elements are there, you just make it to 0 if you have reached to the last point. I hope you know this basic syntax of reaching to the last element of an array. Right. So now, if that is not the case, return what? Return cats of current cat index. You know, whatever index is with you to start with. First of all, it is 0, then it will become 1. Then it will check whether it has reached to the end. If not, it will just go over there and return that current URL. Right, everyone? Now I have created this. I have just added these three things right now. Is that clear? So what this will do, it will just bring up the next URL for us. Next URL for us. Now let's do one thing. Rather than typing out the e.target, let's call next cat image URL. I'm calling the function over here. What does that mean? I want to see the next URL over here, maybe, right? So just save that. Everyone has done that. Save that, and now run your program. Right? So when I click on it, okay, cats is not defined. It says cats is not defined. Why cats is not defined? Da, 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 da. Have we connected our script? That's interesting. Okay, so why is that happening? Anyone? Yes, anyone? Can anyone tell me why it's not working? It says cats is not defined. It's not recognizing the cats. And the reason is, of course, I hope you would have guessed. The reason is that I have not connected this script over here. Yes, script.js. Thank you. Thank you very much. So now I have connected this one, and now let's run that. Fine. So refresh and now run this one. So you see that it says that cat image clicked, and it is showing us the URL. And you know, this will be showing the next URL because of that plus plus. And all the time when I click that, you see that URL will be next URL should be coming. And I'm hoping that this is the next URL, but looks like it's giving me the same URL. I'll just check that. But you know what it is doing, that it has to come up with the next URL. Let me just see that why it is not giving us the next image URL. It should return cat's current cat index. Looks like this is everything is correct here. In current cat index plus plus. If you can just find out, maybe if I or maybe we will just check it again, no issues. But right now it looks like anyhow. So right now just consider that it's giving the right way, and we'll check that later on. So whenever I click on it, it should come up with the next URL, the next URL, the next URL. Because why? Because I'm calling a function over there, and this function is doing what? If you see here, that next cat image URL should go where? Go to the current cat index plus plus, whenever it finds it at a 0, it should go to the next one, and it should try to find out that whether that current cat index is equal to. Let me just make it double equal and check, because sometimes triple equal may create some problem. Let me just see that if it is working for me now. Is it still showing the same image? I'll see that. No problems, no issues. So everyone got it? The real purpose of this function is that this function should take us to the next image URL, right? So if it successfully takes to our next image URL, what we'll do on our page, we are accessing
Professor
cat from this one hash cat. We have got this cat over here, right? We have captured this one. So what we can do here is cat dot src, that we can have cat dot src and equal to next cat image URL. Now it should successfully bring that. Are you people getting what I'm doing here? I am just making this cat.src equal to the next image URL, next cat image URL. So whenever next cat image comes, you just store that and make it the source of this cat, this cat. So source will keep on changing. Rest, everything will remain the same. Let's run that and let's try to find out if it is not bringing up the new one. Okay, so it's not bringing up the new one. Rather, it is always giving the same picture. That is the thing. Let me just see that. Rather, I'm not printing that now. Oh, I've not saved this one. Sorry. Now saved. And run that one. Okay. Oh, yes. Now it's working. You see? It's going to the next image when you click on it. Can everyone see that? I'm showing you the code again. Here is the code. What I've done is that I have just created this function. I'll copy and paste this all code. And I've changed our handle cat click a bit as well. Copy this one and I'm pasting it in our document, code for class. So I've pasted that over here. That's very good. One of your colleagues is saying that it's working fine. Now, how many of you can see this working this way? Whenever I click on it, the new cat image is loaded. Good, good. That's very good. That's very nice. That's very nice. Okay, so that's very good. People are getting that response. Okay, so this is one thing that we have achieved. We were trying to achieve this. Whenever user clicks on it, the picture should be changing. Right? That's very good. If it is not working for someone, they can let us know and then we'll talk about that. Now we have to do another thing. Now we have to come to this one as well, but I will do that in the last. First, I'm doing this mouse information and mouse position, right? So for that, what you need to do, you need to just work on HTML as well a bit. So you go here and go to your HTML part, like again, in the HTML part, after this cat picture, what I'm going to do is here, is that I will be adding H2, a cat. Not cat, mouse position. I want mouse position now. Mouse position. And now in the mouse position, what I'll do is that I'm just typing a P and I'm writing mouse position, right? Or I can just write down here mouse information just to make it change. So mouse position, I want to add this mouse position over here, colon. And now I am giving over here, for example, if I say 100, 200. I'm just trying to understand, make you understand first of all, and I'm just typing it and then I will let you know what is going on. So I just type 100 and 200, which is not, of course, which is a static value, but we'll be changing that value. So if you see here, if you run here, it's coming after the cat. Maybe that's not a problem, but I want to take it to the above cat. I just want to take it before cat, just for nothing. You can place it anywhere you want. So now my program, my file should be looking like this. So mouse position is 100 and 200, which is not required. I have to work on that. But again, I'm just giving you that I'm showing mouse position like this. Now on this mouse position, what we'll be doing? So mouse position, I want this 100 and 200 to be dynamically coming from my DOM, right? From my JavaScript code. So for that, I will have to create a span in front of them, or maybe any inline level tag. For example, I will say span, and I will also give an ID. Why? Because I want to access it in my DOM. Mouse X. Everyone is getting that? And same I will do with the y coordinate as well. Span ID equal to mouse y, span closed, and you need to copy that, cut that scan ending tag from here and place that over here. I save that. Why I'm doing that? Because I have to capture this 100 and 200, and I have to provide a certain value for it. Right now, there will be no change in our output. If I have saved it, if I run it, there will be no change. But the real change is that logically I have changed this 100 and 200. Oh, okay, okay. So someone says that I do not exactly understand the working of div and span tag. So for your information, just for the time being, I will just explain one thing, and you will understand that one. You know, if you want to make it a complete block, listen about that. If you want to make it a complete block, what I will do here is div. I'll just create a div, and I've created a div tag. What is the benefit of it? You know that div will make this at a complete block level. So div is called block level tag. You remember? I'm talking to you who has asked the question. Div is specifically the block level tag. Block level generic container, we call that. You got it? I'm talking, yes. And span is something that does not occupy, you remember block level means what? Block level means that it contains its own block. It's had, let me show you. And I'll ask you people, out of these, which tags are block level and which are not? If you see that mouse information is coming in a complete block, let's play with DOM events is coming in a complete block. But if you see that this 100 and 200 are coming alongside with the other tags. So if the tag is coming alongside to the other tag, it is called an inline tag, inline general container. And span is basically the inline generic container that we have. I hope you are understanding that. The one who asked the question, you know what I'm saying? That's very good. There are some people, other people, but I'm asking to those who. So div, I think you can think of as a divider, like you can separate. Yes, exactly. Div is a divider that you can separate things. And span is someone where you have to just apply certain thing on a certain point. You just use a span over there. And of course, we will start our CSS this week and maybe today. So when we'll start our CSS, you will better understand that because we'll be creating our sections by using div and span. You got it? Who asked the question? Let me just. Oh, still struggling. So you just make sense of one thing. Div is used for making a division or a dividing a page into different sections. And span is used to divide a row into some different sections, different logical sections. Does that make sense a bit? And again, as I said, you will be, hopefully, you will make more sense of it when we'll be working on that. Anyhow, so I have done that. Span ID. And what is the benefit of defining this span ID X for 100 and 200 is that I can do a very interesting thing in my code. Now see, come here in your code. And here, after that event listener, I want to do something interesting. Document dot body dot on mouse move. I told you that there are different functions that you can, different events that you can work on. So on mouse move, on the body of mouse move, I want to run a function. And of course, this function will have an event. Remember, event, we have talked about event. We have passed an E or event, whatever you call it. Right? Now let's do one thing. Let mouse X equal to document dot. You remember query selector that we have used a lot. And here, what should I write? Hash mouse X. I want to capture the X in my mouse X. Let mouse Y equal to document dot query selector. And what I'll capture here, of course, hash mouse Y. Now, I have a question here. Who out of you does not understand what I am doing over here? Because it's something that is coming from the DOM and the last class. And those who understand, they can write a yes or understood, for example, you. So if you do not understand, can everyone just let me know that you know what we are doing over here? What will happen on this by using this one? That's very good. So I've got one response. Now see here, what I've done is that mouse X and mouse Y, I have captured these two positions, which I've defined over here. This was mouse X, this was mouse Y ID. And whenever you have to access some ID, you do what? You do hash mouse X, hash mouse Y. And by using document query selector, I'm saving that in mouse of X and mouse of Y. Right? So now let's do one thing. I can now play with this mouse X. I say mouse X equal to, I intentionally am doing something wrong. So what I have to store here? Can anyone tell me? I talked about the event. You remember? We have talked about the event, mouse event. And let me just, for the time being, let me just make it a comment. I want to understand something. I want you to understand. I'm just making it a comment. I'm going back over here. I'm clicking on it. Cat image loaded, cat image load. Oh, I'm not printing the event anywhere, right? So let's click that, and not next URL, rather I am printing here E. Everyone getting what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to show you the event here. Yes, exactly. That's very good. That's very good. That's what I want you to understand. So if I run it over here, and if I click on it, so you see event, and this event has certain different properties. What I want to do is that I have one property. If you see here, what is that property? Client X and client Y. If you see here, what is that? Client X and client Y. This tells us that where is our mouse position right now. We have talked about that last week, right? So now let's come back here. Let's make it a comment again. I don't want it anymore. And let's recomment, like uncomment this one. So now I want this mouse X is equal to E dot client X. I'm intentionally doing something wrong. I want you to understand something. So mouse Y equal to E dot client Y. Save. I've saved that. Right? Now let's go back and run that. So I don't see any change over here. It's not showing the client X and client Y. And why is that? Can anyone of you tell me? This is very important. Can anyone tell me why it is not showing the client X and client Y? No, these values are returning. These values are coming from e.client X. Let me just tell you one thing interesting from your question. Let me just console. Exactly. No, that is not the case. That is hard code. I want to change it. So here I want to print e.client X. Yes. Who is that? That's very right. I want all of you to just reach to that point. E.client Y. I'm just printing that these two values. See here. And let me just print that. You see here that it is showing me this X and Y. So whenever I'm taking my cursor, it is showing me X and Y. You see how many consoles are coming? You see, it is showing me X and Y. So what we have to do? Yes, you are right. Someone has just mentioned. You are right. We don't have to store this one. Rather, we have to change the inner text of this one. Inner text. Inner text and inner text. Now save this one. Now come here and now see here. Is it working for you people? So you are right, Donna. You are asking that 100 and 200 are not changed. So I'm not changing. I will not change 100 and 200 by myself. Rather, I want my JavaScript to go and change that 100 and 200. You see here now it's three things working. Cat image is doing and my mouse is moving. Now, does everyone know that how to capture the mouse event? First of all, let me know that if everyone is able to run that. I will just pause the recording. Yes. So for your information, if I change something like this, what will happen? Let's save this and run this document. Sorry. So run this document. You see what is going on? Object, HTML, body element, span element, what it is doing? It is showing the target where I'm taking my mouse. You see? It says that image element, this is body element, this is event. You remember target? I cannot make it more easier for you. You remember target? So if I access target, it will show the target. Whatever you will access over here, it will show that typical thing over. And Just out of curiosity, if I just remove this target even, and I say that mouse.innerText is equal to E. So you know what will happen, of course. I hope you know. What will happen now? You see that object mouse event, which is not coming over there, of course, because it's just saying that there's a mouse event, a complete event has occurred. Right. I don't think it should be. If it is confusing, I can stop here and we can just discuss that. No problems. You should not be confused anything about anything. Yes, I can understand you're saying amusing and confusing, but why is it confusing? Because I don't want you to be confused for something. I want you to be crystal clear when we are done with that. So I've shown you different examples that what is inner text means. If you change the inner text of this one, it will just become like that. Whatever you want, you can just do that over here. Is that clear? Other than one who is finding confusing and amusing, all other people are finding it good. That's very good. So now we have achieved two parts from that our exercise. We have achieved this picture changing. We have achieved the mouse position. And what we have to do, the last thing is we have to upload, last thing is that we will add the button, and then I'll click on that button, and then I want to add all those URLs over here. And then I'll show you that why that URL, I can just stop and I can just bring up more URL over there. Right? So now let's come back here. Now I'll be working over here. Okay, that's very good. Now, yes. So now I'm saying more cats. More cat button. I will be adding a more cat button over here. Document. Is the coordinate of the mouse important if you want to create reactive pages? Yes, exactly. That's what I was saying. If you are creating a game and you want to create a game in JavaScript, you know that you will be taking certain actions on the basis of mouse events. You will say that if mouse coordinates are coming from this one to this one, this should be enabled, this should be disabled. I hope that makes a lots of sense now, right? Yes, you are right. Reactive pages, the pages that will interact your mouse, that will speak with the mouse. Whenever mouse will go over there, they will be just showing you. In the games, you see something like this. That game, you have a ball moving and you click on that ball and ball just splashes out, or it just it just breaks out. So that means that it has just captured your mouse and X and Y, and then taking that decision according to that. Yes, I hope now you understand that. Okay, so now we have to create a button over here in our HTML. First of all, I'll be just creating a button, and you can just, we have not talked about the form as yet, but I will just give you a one liner for that we can just add a button by using, we can just, if you want, you can just add a button over here. And let me just add a button, not only a button, rather I would like to place this all cat into a div now. Rather not this cat, after this cat, I want to create a div. So all of you just please add a div over here. And in this div, I have to create two things. The first thing that I'm creating in this div is a button. So button, you can just right now note that button can be created by using this button keyword, and we have to give it an ID, and I'm giving it more cat side. Again, I can access this with a hash, and if you write something in between that, it will be added to your format. So I've just added a div after the cat, and in that cat I've just added one button and nothing else. Right? So I just added that one. Okay, now let's run that. Save this one and run your page. Okay, we have got a button which is not doing anything, which is just clicking when I'm clicking on this button. So button is been clicking, more cats has been clicking, right? Okay. So what does I want from this button? And for that, what I'll do over here is that I will use a more document dot query selector, right? And here I'll be accessing the ID of that button. What is that ID of that button? More cats. If you see upside, right? More cats. We have got this more cats button. And now let's do one thing, turn by turn. More cat button dot add event listener. You remember add event listener? I want to add an event listener over here. And what is that event? I want it to run on click, and I want to run a function over here. Right? So I want to run a function over here. And interestingly, first thing I'm doing is that more cat button dot remove. Interesting. Removing itself. Whenever someone clicks on this button, the first thing that you do is that remove this button by itself. What button I'm talking about? I'm talking about more cats, hash more cats. And this is the button that we have created over here. You see, button we have created in a div. So now let's run that one. Have you followed this one? This code? And I'm just copying this code in document so that everyone gets it. It's just the button code. And please remember to add that button in your page. Now, if you come here and you refresh it, if you go to this button and click on it, magic. Now your button has disappeared. Is that right? It has disappeared from our, the DOM. The button has disappeared. Are you getting that? So what else I want from this button? I want this button, whenever someone clicks on this button, you see here, someone clicks on this button, not only this button should be removed. First part is done. The second part is I want to add an ordered list over here. I want to add an ordered list over here. And what ordered list? This ordered list should contain over here. I want this here, for example, I want to have an ordered list over here. Now see here. So I want to add this ordered list over here. And now what I do here is that I will say, for example, ID equal to cat URL. Okay, I'll see that. Why it is giving a syntax error? I'll see that. Let me just complete that and I'll just talk about that. So now let's talk about this, that I'm just taking out this div out of button. Now I'm just creating a div for this list, and button is with that div. Now I've created a div ID cat URL list. What does that mean? I want to create an ordered list over here, something like this. And all those URLs which are coming, I'm just writing that down, and I'll make that by using URL2, URL3 up to so on. Are you getting that? I will be creating that type of list, and this list I will be creating by my code, not by myself. Okay, so someone is getting the syntax. Yes. So now if you see here that we have created a div ID, and you know what we want to do? We want to do something like this, because if you see in our final output, that if you see here, that whenever I click on it, it creates a numbered list, and that numbered list should have all those URLs that are stored where? That are stored in the cats. I want all these URLs to print over there. Right? For that, what I have done is that I have created a div ID cat URL list, and I will try to place all those things inside that. I want to create something over here. So not only I want this button to be removed, I want some other things to be done. And what are those things? Let's think about it. I have to create a new element. First of all, I want to create a new element. And where do I want to create this new element? Let me tell you. I want to create that new element inside this div. Where is that? Yes, inside this div. Please bear in mind, right? So first of all, I need to capture that div. Let div equal to document.query selector, right? And what is the ID I've given? If you see here, I've given it cat URL list. And I'll copy it, because I guess sometimes you make mistake. So cat URL list. So I want to access that one. And again, since this is an ID, so what should I use? Hash cat URL list. Sorry, T has not come. Let me just see that if I have used that T over there. Yes, T is there, URL list. So got everyone? I am just creating a query selector. Now, if you see here, I have to create OL. So you remember we talked about document.create element. Create element. I want to create an element OL. And please don't worry, I will just show you in debugger how I'll be running that. So I've created an OL. Everyone is with me? Good. That's very good. Now let's talk about something. We have got an array of cats. Where is that array of cats? It's in script file, right? So here I can run a loop for that one. What is that loop? For each, right? Cats for each. What does that mean? I want to run for every value of this cat, right? It has 17 values right now, I think. So I want to run for every value. If you want to run for every value, you will use cat for each. You remember we have talked about for each and for loop and things like that. So I want to run a function over here, right? A function that will accept a URL. What is that URL? Can anyone tell me? The individual URLs coming from this script, right? One URL, two URL. So if you use for each function URL, you're talking about each URL will be coming at turn by turn. So first URL will come here, the second URL, the third URL, and up to so on, right? Let me show you something interesting here, and then we'll talk about console.log, and let's log URL over here, right? I'm logging this URL, cats for each, right? So let's see if it shows me. Okay, so this is there, and it will work on this button. So you see that all those URLs are printed over here. Everyone can see that. These are different URLs, by the way, supposed to be, right? So these are all different URLs. Now these URLs are coming from here. I have just consoled that URL. So every URL will come here and it will be processed. So now what process I want? For every URL, I want to create an li. Element li. Okay, I want to create an li for every URL. So the first element, first li, second element, second li, third element, third li. Right? So for every element, create that. And let's talk about it. If I say li dot inner text equal to URL, how many of you understand what does that mean? What I'm doing, I am doing something that take the li which you have created and add this URL as the inner text of it. Everyone getting that? Please a response in the chat window, other than those 2-3 people who have been responding continuously. I want response from everyone. Are you understanding? Okay, that's very good. That's very good. So make it URL. Not only this one, you have done that. And now what you have to do is that you have to append that. So you remember append child, append child. And what I want to append? I want to append this li to the OL. Right? Now a question. Will this OL appear in my div list, on my div, or something else is remaining? Anyone? Is there something remaining, or it should work with that? Okay, so the thing remaining is I have not appended it. No, I have not append. I have to append this as child OL. This ordered list has to be appended. You know, okay. So you are saying uncomment. No, I don't need this uncommented. I even don't need it at all. Please try to understand. I am not using anything previously other than this div. I am creating myself the OL and LIs. Are you getting my point? This is very important. So if you are confused that I'm accessing that, no, I'm not accessing. There is nothing over here. And everything will come on run, on fly. Now you see here, I save this one and I run this. I'll come back to it and I'll just run it for everyone again and I'll just repeat that. Click on that. You see that it is showing something, but the text is not coming. Maybe we'll see that. So it is supposed to be the URL should come over here, right? The URL should come over here, which is not coming. Let me see what is happening, why it is not adding those things. What is the mistake? Can anyone find that? I've seen that mistake because it's very easy to find this mistake. Yes, can anyone else find for me? Why it is not showing the URLs over there? Let's see who is wake up and who is sleeping. Can anyone find my mistake? There is a horrible mistake that I've done. Not so horrible, but again, there is something that I've done. Inner T, that's very good. Thank you very much. That's very good. That's very good. Now you save this one and run this one. You see that? Voila, that's interesting. You see our all URLs are coming over here. No, I was not missing inverted commas. It was inner T, right? Inner T mentioned by one of your colleague before. So it's basically all these pictures, and the something that I was trying to do in the beginning, because I was just using the wrong one. And if I just do something interesting over here, and I just take out everything from here to here, cut this one, I've just cut this one, save this one, and run your file now. So you see now 17, not 17, rather 12 are coming. So all those URLs are coming over here. Everyone is getting that? That's very good. That's very good. Now I want you people to do something. This is a small test. This is a small thing that I want you. You see that these are all coming as a picture, like, you know, the links, the Ahref, and not only Ahref, rather if I click on it, they are opening in a new window as well. Can you people implement that for me? Can you people implement that for me? So what you have to do? We have done almost all the part. URL is there. You have to make this URL as a link, and not only link, it has to be linked to the text, linked to the URL, and not only linked to the URL, rather when I click on it, it should open a document open that same picture in a new page. Who will be able to do that? This is a small task, small challenge, whatever you call it. Who is ready for that? Because if you will do that, it means that you understand everything, and this will give you a very good practice of that as well. Who is ready for that? What you need to do? This is the code that we have. The index, it's everything is here. You need to make few changes over here, that how it should go on. So I'm giving you 10 minutes. For that 10 minutes, I will be taking a quick break. And after 10 minutes, if someone is successfully able to do that, do you understand what you have to do? Everyone understands what you have to do? What is the task? I need response. There's no response from anyone. Okay, looks like I'm alone in this room. There's no one else. Okay, thank you very much. So now I'm just stopping this recording. So yes, so what we have to do is that we were required to just convert that into the link and then work on that link typically. So someone has come up with a solution, and let me just share that. Oh, sorry. Okay, so it's not like that. It's not copying and pasting from this one for me as well. Okay, so can you do one thing and paste that in that document? I just want to take your, like, you know, your code. And where is that document? That document is here. Oh, okay, so you have pasted it. Okay, thank you. So now let's paste that, and where I need to paste that, inside this one. Let me just first paste that, and then we'll see what is going on. Okay, so we have got this one. We have got this inner.txt. Okay, let's talk about that. Right. Right. So now, you know, we need to do that, but of course, what we need to do that is li should be created first, of course, before this one. So li will be somewhere here, and then we have a is equal document.create element, and then we have li.append and li.innerText. Right. Right. So now if you see that what is
sorry, Professor.
as I said, I'll show you with some interesting facts over here.
Professor, can you hear me?
Now, yes, what is going on? So someone has come up with a solution, and see here. They say that A is equal to document.create element. You create an A element over here because Li has not been created. Okay, so your mic is not working, no problem. You need to say something. Okay, yes, of course. We don't need that one. And that was also because of that I was just doing that. So now you see here that let A is equal to document.create element. We have created an element. And now we have got a.href is equal to URL. Of course, the URL is coming from. It should come as the href hyperreference, and then inner text should be equal to URL, and that's true. And after that, a.target is equal to underscore blank. We want to open it in a new window. So you remember in HTML we say that if you are using the target equal to blank like underscore blank, it will open up here. And now what we're doing that li.append child a. So first of all, we are appending this a to li, because it will become the child of li, and then this li should become the child of ol. Now let's save that and run our file. This is our document. Run that one, and now if you click on this, something wrong. Okay, so yes, so there is terribly something wrong, because I just copied and pasted, and there was lots of things. These were copied and pasted. Let me just make it a bit clearer here. I just need this one, and then afterward I don't need, I think, this one. Let's see if it works, and if maybe there is something remaining. So in copying pasting, I have just copied paste something differently. Still not working. Like let's see the error as well, because we'll know that what is going on. Unexpected end of input, right? Unexpected end of input. Okay, so I'll have to just look at it. So I'm just starting a function over here, and then this for each, and this for each is stopping here. That's correct. And then append child, then this one is ending over here. And
Professor,
closing.
Hear me now?
It's loading the add.event listener. This is true. It has to go there.
Oh.
And let's see, function URL, let URL. So if I'm not.
Hello, Professor, can you hear me?
Oh, someone is speaking?
Yes. Well, the div dot append child should be inside of the for each.
I cannot hear anyone. Let's just hold on a minute. Even though I don't know. No, the problem is, I don't know. You are confusing me. First of all, let me tell you that if someone is speaking, I'm not able to hear that. If there is someone who is speaking, I cannot hear that. Okay, just hold on a minute. I'm recording. So now let's try to create that over here as well by ourselves, right? So what I said is that, for example, now I'm not assigning this li.innerText. Rather, what we'll do is that we'll create an A element, right? Like an anchor one. So document.create element and A. We want to create an anchor, right? And in anchor element, this is very interesting. In anchor element, what I want is that for this anchor element, I want to print its href. I want to give it href, hyperreference. Hyperreference is equal to URL, because I want to give it a hyperreference of URL, right? Number one. And then I want to change its inner text as well. And I'll do what? A dot inner text very cleanly. And that is also the URL, because I want to show the same text over there. If you remember, we have talked about that we want to just show this one, and also we want to click. Whenever we click on it, it should go to that same point of place. So now I'm saying inner text is equal to URL. And the other thing, the last thing that I want to set is target. And if you set a target of underscore blank, it will just always open that one in a new. And what else you can do? You can just set an alt as well. Cats, right? So anything that you want to just set as a cat, right? So you just set that, and now what we do is that li.append. So we have to first of all append the child of li, and I'm just placing it in A, right? And then I will be just appending ol with that with that li, and then this is all true. Like div should come outside of it. Why? Because once this OL will be created. Then we are just appending this OL over here. Now save this one and run this one. Append child, yes. You wouldn't be without single quotation. Okay, I'll see that. Okay, you're right. So I did something. Okay, sorry. Thank you very much. Because this is a variable and I'm taking it as a test. Thank you very much for pointing that error out. Okay, right. So now you see here, if I click on this one, I see what? All the URLs. And when I click on URL, this is opening up in a new document. Right? So thank you very much. So someone was asking that I am just now pasting this all code, this all HTML. I've copied everything from here, right? Control C, and now I am pasting it in our document. So this is, someone has already pasted that, maybe? No. Okay, no problem. No problem if you have pasted that. You can just have a multiple versions of it. And now I have just also pasted that. No problems. So someone has already pasted that, but no issues. You can always look at it, and you will have the video, and you can just always look at that, those things. Right. So now we have got this everything, and we can just run that one. And if you go and inspect this one, so you will see. I just wanted to show you something interesting. This is that you can do some interesting thing over here. We can check this all code happening, how this is going on, by using a debugger over here. Now let's go to our code. Everyone should go to our code, and maybe on the click, whenever you have just clicked on over here, so just write down a debugger here. Right? I think we can just place a terminator here, or maybe not terminator. So write debugger over here, right? Let's talk about that. Now what will happen? And let's refresh it, and let's inspect this one. Now, if you see here that you have got a debugger over here as well, and debugger works more good in our, in our Firefox. I don't have a Firefox right now, but let's run that one. So okay, so if when I will just click on it, so you see here that there it has just started this debugger at the bottom, right? So debugger has just stopped at some point, and where it has stopped, it has just, where we don't have any breakpoints right now. So it has just stopped on that click where I just clicked on that one. Okay, just quickly, let me just, so now what it's doing is that, let me just start it once more, that we are just running this. And when I click on this button, we are stopped at this debugger point. And now it's debugger point. If I just stop stepping over, and I step over first time, it reaches to the more button that remove. You can see that. And then if I just again stop over to it, you see that button is removed, right? And then if you just again stop over to it, that div is created. That div is accessed. Before that, this div had no reference over there. Now it has got a reference, cat URL list. You remember we have discussed that cat URL list over here in a div tag. This is the div tag that is coming. So now it has got the reference of this tag over here. Now if you step over again, you see that it has now created an OL. You see, OL has been created over here, ordered list. Now again, you step over to this one. You see that now it has just, because this has just done this for each. And now what will happen? This LI would have created, and this OL is being created. Now let's check it. Do we have an OL over here? You just write down this OL. So yes, we have got an OL. If I press an LI, right now it is saying that uncount reference express. Why? Because we'll just see that it will just add that URL over here. Now, if you come to the debugger over here again, and you see here that we have got this one, and if I step over to it, it is just going to the end. And now everything will be added over there. And if you go to the inspector code, you will find that this div cat ID has an OL inside it. And inside that OL, you find all LIs over here. You see here, all LIs are over here. href this one, href this one. Let me just run it once more and then show you. You see here, we have got this div cat URL list, but there is nothing inside that. Do you see that? There is just a commented something which we use that. But again, these comments also I have removed. I don't know why it is coming in this memory. So I've just removed those comments as well. So now this is basically over here. And now what we are doing is that when we click on it, you see that we have been stopped at here, debugger. And if I step over to it, we just first of all remove the button has been removed, and you see the div is undefined. Everyone is accessing that, everyone is looking that the div is undefined right now. So when I again step over it, you see that div has been now defined. It has got the reference of cat URL list. Everyone getting that? No response. That's good. Now, if you see that, now if I step over again, you see that now OL is also created. OL is also created. Right? Now so if you see at this point of time, if you see our code, still this div has nothing. Why? Because we have not added to that, right? So if you come here and if you see, and if I step over to it, it has just run all for each, and I will just run that as well for you. So it has just run that all for each, and it has reached to div.append child. Now if I step over to it, it reaches to outside, and here document.click. So if I go to inspector, and now if I see, you see that OL has been added over here. And if I access that, you see that LI has been added over there. With all those OLs, we have got the LIs inside that. And now if you see that these LIs have that component as well. Now let's do one thing. I hope everyone understands that. Now let's do one thing. And what I'm doing is that inside this for each, maybe I am creating a breakpoint over here for this point, right? So that I can see that what is going on. So now if I refresh it, run it, you see that it has stopped at debugger. Step 2, remove button. You see that button will be removed now. Button removed. I hope you are seeing that. And then if you just click on that, div created, div not created, div accessed. OL created. Now it has reached to cat for each, and now it will reach to li point, right? Now it is creating this li over here. Document.create element li. Okay, step over. Li created, and li has been created as this li, and now you see a created, and a has been created, and a will be assigned a href, inner text, and target blank, and alt cats, and li.append child. We are appending the child a to li, right? I want to run it once and then I'll show you. ol.append child li. So it should have something like this. It will again come back over here. Now, if you see in the code. So if you see that it is not showing over here. And why it is not showing over here till now? Anyone? Why that OL is not shown over here? Anyone who is woke up and not sleeping? I'm asking that why this OL is not being added over here. Anyone? Even though we have reached where? We have just run this once and this OL is not here. Can anyone tell me why this OL is not here? It is made after the remove button. No, we are inside that remove button. We are inside that one. We are after the remove button and we are inside this one. And one step has been gone, like one zeroth location has been added. First URL, which is coming over here, has been already added to it. But still, it is not showing right now. A very simple answer to this is that, we are right now roaming around this loop. Understand? And unless we go out of this loop, this OL will not be added. Yes, exactly. Displayed means it will be injected to that. So now let me just go to that one and I will just run those steps. It is just running that. And if I just go to the next step, maybe, and it is being running now. It is just adding all those, and again, once it will find the last one, we can just reach to the. Now it has reached to this one. It means that now it would have added that. So if you go to this div and see this OL, this OL has 17 UL. So again, let's do something for ourselves, and we can just do that with that as well. And maybe so again, just leave that one and try to understand this. Okay. Where has that gone? Oh, browser, this one. Right. So now it is doing, it's now showing li to me, and this li is basically being added to that one. Right. And now this all li will be updated here. So this is the way of creating a document and creating something. And what you people can do by using this one is that there are a number of things that you can do by yourself. You can practice it by yourself adding the elements, removing the element. One of the very popular application is to-do type of application. You know, you have seen that to-do type of application. You can just create a to-do type of application. And okay, so I might share one example with you that if you want to create that to-do type of list of application, you can just always create that and you will be able to just make that. But again, since we have not worked on CSS, I will just allow you to work on CSS first, and then we will be talking about that. So everyone understand that? What app? Okay, I was talking about a to-do app, to-do. You know, the to-do app, for example, if you create a to-do app like that one, or let me just show that and close this one. Yes, so you can create a to-do app type of app, and there is a button. You just keep on clicking on one by one, things kept on like keeps on adding and keeps on deleting and things like that. You got it? So that's app I'm just talking about. So this very much sums up our DOM events as well. We have talked about lots of things, mouse events, and I would request you if you can just go to your notes, lecture notes of this week, the week I'm talking about. So if you come here, and this one is the one that we are talking about. So there are lots of examples. There is this cat example as well. I would love all of you to just go there and read these things out. These are very interesting one. And once you understand the concept, you see document.create element p, create element as image, it is creating element and then adding that element to somewhere and things like that. So all of these things we have discussed, but of course you have got lots of other things that you can do. You scroll into view, has attributes, get attributes. Not this week. I think it's not this week. I'll announce that properly if it is there, right? It's not this week. This week we'll discuss the topics. So what I would request all of you is that you can just all of you go there and do all this practice. There's this cat practice over here. You can always work on that. There are lots of pictures. You can work in them, and there are lots of things that you can do that. And I hope that now after today's class you will be comfortable in most of the things. So do you people understand? Everyone understands this everything? Because I have to just introduce you to the next week's topic, not next week, next class topic on Wednesday. We'll be talking about the CSS. No, I think you were sleeping, DA. Like someone has asked this quiz. I said that no, there will be no quiz this week, right? At least, right? Got it? I think you people, I don't know. Why don't you people just listen to the other one? Because someone already asked that. Anyhow, so let's have a quick introduction of it, and I'll just introduce you this, and we won't be working that much. CSS. So this is the third platform that we'll be discussing. Yes, I will share that. I'll share that. Don't worry. Last class lecture link, like video link, right? I'll share that. I'll share that with this one. Right? I will share that. No worries. 24th February lecture link is still remaining, and I will just add that. That is, I'm saying over here. All right. So if you see here that we have got CSS. CSS is cascading style sheets, and as I said, this is the third part, but we'll be discussing for as a technological part. Like this is the third part, and CSS is very interesting. Up till now, we have not talked about anything about the looks and feels of the web page. You see that we have been creating these web pages, which you see that they are very simple in nature, and there is no styling being applied. There is no coloring being used. Pictures are coming without anything. Now I want myself to be enabled to work on the design of these documents as well. So to work on the design of the document, what we do is that we basically work with CSS. Okay. Work with CSS, cascading style sheets. Right? So cascading style sheets, a very quick review. If you just open up this first link, Zen Garden, this is a web page that contains some of the text, that contains some of things, and it looks cool. It looks a bit, a bit more designful. So it's the beauty of, this is the beauty of CSS design. And if you see there, if I go back, you see that this same will be, this is the HTML file for that. This is the HTML file, all the text over here. And this is the CSS file. So CSS file is here. So CSS file, what we do is that we basically define some of these styles in our document, and those styles are implemented on our web page. And we'll see that there are lots of people who have who have done a lots of wonderful things with this CSS. Rather, if I can access that one, I'm trying to access that one. Let me just see if I can find CSS Zen Garden. Yes. If you see that same text has been changed to the design, more like a magazine-like design. Do you find it good? Of course, interesting. And I want to make something like that. Even you have other designs as well. So there are lots of designs for the same document. Same document being, yes, I'll talk about that. So I'll make you, I'll give you some very real examples and you will be able to work on that. Wait, regarding CSS, could you quickly summarize the main difference between padding? I'll talk about that. Don't worry, Jason. That's all my topic is all about, padding and margin. And I will let you know everything by giving you the example from that one. Let me just quickly show you something. Because you are asking this question, that's why I'm showing you padding and margin, and I hope you will try to understand that padding and margin. So I've selected this H2 over here. And if you see here, this says padding, and this there you can use the margin as well. And I'll let you know that what is the padding and what is margin over here. And you will be just working on that, everything that you have this text like boxes something. And I will give you every example, just don't worry about that, right? So I'm right now intentionally not giving that, but in next class, we will have a very comprehensive review of everything, right? Box model, what is the box model, how we can work on box model and things like that. Right? So CSS can be used to do wonderful things. And as we have seen, so we'll talk about that. In HTML5, we don't include markup related to how a page should look like. Instead, we focus on a structure. So we have just talked about the structure, and in an organization, we put all this information into style sheets, text files that define CSS selectors and rules for the how to style our HTML document. I will just let you know that how to work this one and what are the different ways you can use your CSS syntax and things like that. So I'll talk about these all in our next class. I'll start from this point. And this next class is very important. Not only next class, next week we'll go with CSS. It's very, very important. As someone is padding, as someone is asking margins, I'll talk about everything. I'll talk about each and everything in greater detail. Right? So that is basically something that we need to keep in mind, right? So I'm stopping here, and I will be just if you have any other question or concern, you can just discuss it right